What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unplayable, the Conversation Lab, your favorite show about our favorite games, Star Wars Unlimited. Mike and Jay in the house with me. No Jim today. He's too busy for us these days. He's gone back into his cocoon.
Comes out once every Gen
He can
Con.
explain. He has a job that there are certain time periods where he is completely unavailable, basically.
Yes.
Right? Indisposed.
Yes, that he is. He's in the university life, and it is university days these days. Well, how are you guys doing? How are you feeling? It's been a minute since we've actually recorded a podcast.
A couple weeks, right? Yeah, I feel like it's been a couple weeks. Yeah, it's been a minute. We've all been pretty busy, I think. And
Yeah, Jay's been busy making board game videos, so that's been cool to see on the channel.
I gotta fill my time somehow, Coach. I told you, it's what is the acronym for always be closing, always be gaming? ABG, always be gaming.
ABG.
That's my life.
I love it.
Yep.
Doing good though.
All right. Good. Mike, how about you, man?
Good. I just got back from traveling, visiting family down in LA, and it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, not much. Well, lots of gaming, but not much Star Wars Unlimited for me over this last weekend. I did do a little bit.
But some.
I did do a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it's been really busy work-wise over here, family-wise, kids starting school up. I think everybody's kind of in that
time of year.
It is just, it's like, let me spend all this money to get you into schools, get you all the supplies, and for you to get immediately sick, and so that I can go spend more money at the doctor to help fix whatever is going on so that we can actually just stay home like we did all summer, except it costs a lot more money, right?
Yeah.
The story of
Perfect.
parenting.
That's awesome. Slash not awesome.
Yeah. No, but we did we did some kitchen table stuff last week. I realized this is now a meme, but I don't care. We had a new guy start at my work.
Of course.
Here we go.
And he literally has history playing games. And Lorcana was one of them, and I said, "Hey, have you heard of Star Wars Unlimited?" And so we immediately got him. My buddy Frank grilled out, and we taught him Star Wars Unlimited. He's already bought a bunch of stuff. He's playing with us on Thursday lunches.
Got him hooked.
It's
Had he watched any of our Lorcana content? That'd be funny if he did.
I forgot we did Lorcana content.
We basically started with a lot of Lorcana content.
It's true. So anyways.
Yeah, every couple days we lose a Lorcana subscriber that came in.
So we're never going to talk about the game again.
Yep.
Like, oh, wait, who are these guys again? Oh gosh. Yeah. But anyway, so he's playing now, and what I heard someone else say, you should always have just like a package of all the leaders to give to new players.
Yep.
And so I started doing that. So when
all showcases.
it's all showcases, and started having those. So when he came to play, I said, hey, here's just all of the leaders. I think except one. I think I only pulled like one Jabba out of 4 boxes or something like that. So I didn't give him a Jabba the Hutt, but besides that, he has all the other ones.
Man,
Nice.
that sucks because since that's his favorite character.
I know, obviously.
That's a bummer.
But did that. So he's tinkering. He's building. It's fun.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah. Mike, what about you? You've been playing any games?
So long time viewers of this channel will know that I had previously had Star Wars Shatterpoint sealed in a box for about, 18 months, maybe longer. And I finally opened it. I obviously haven't played it yet, but I have it opened. I've glued some of the dudes together, and I started painting stuff. So I have gotten way too into the miniature painting sort of rabbit hole.
Oh, it is a rabbit hole.
The YouTube like tutorials and
Sarastro's
stuff like that.
painting. Do you ever put those on just to fall asleep too? Because it's so soothing.
They're very soothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I realized I needed, I don't know if needed is a strong word, but I realized I wanted a non-competitive sort of like chill hobby that I could just kind of, wind down at night and kind of do something that's a little bit more slower paced and I don't know, different kind of vibe, a little bit more creative. And so I'm pretty excited about that. Here, I'll show you. Come on. I finished the first thing that I painted.
Do it. I'm so excited.
Of course, if you know me, you know that I've already like gone a little bit nuts in terms of what I now own for painting. But I painted these battle droids.
Yeah, come on now. Yeah,
those look good.
I don't think it'll focus. But yeah,
dude, that's
they're
legit.
looking pretty good.
Yeah, that's legit.
So
those are really nice.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, you got bold with like the red on the shoulders and all.
Yeah, I figured I'd try, kind of doing something a little bit more exciting, and then obvious. The next one that I'm painting is going to be Ventress. Because I just have to.
Yeah.
I think some advice is probably like don't paint like the miniatures that you like the most when you're starting out. But I also feel like it's what I'm most excited to try and paint. So screw it. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Totally.
So,
I mean, that's the reason.
If
you're gonna wait till you're ready to paint it, you're never gonna paint.
Yeah, you're never exactly.
So you just gotta do it.
Just gotta do it.
So I did it back in my Imperial Assault days. I was playing a lot of Imperial Assault at one point, a lot of campaigns with some friends, and I was like, I was like, man, I would love to make this look a little bit more eye catching on the table. But I came from X-Wing where everything's pre-painted, so I never had to do any of that. Yeah. But I started with like Stormtroopers. It's like, okay, white and black. Can't screw that up, right?
Easy.
That
like,
sounds kind of hard, honestly. Like you don't have anywhere to hide.
Well, that's also true. Yeah, yeah. So when I got into Shatterpoint, and I haven't played in a year now, but I did the same thing. I started with like the Clone Troopers, and I was like, okay,
nice.
It's like let's just keep it simple, stupid. KISS hurts my feelings every time, but. Yeah, I totally feel that.
It's a very fun time. Like it's definitely providing that sort of just like chill, like sit there with like a YouTube video on for an hour and just like kind of tune out.
Yep.
I've done my fair share of painting as well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get any of the stuff out, but I have lots of games that need to be painted. It just takes so freaking long.
Yeah, so the whole reason why I started doing this is because I received a package at my door, and that package was a board game that I kickstarted like 4 years ago that finally arrived, and they're in gigantic boxes and they have miniatures, and I'm like, what am I going to do with it, with all this? So it's kind of just like, maybe I'll learn how to paint them, and that's
what game was it again? I think you sent me a text.
Yeah, it's called The Bad Karmas, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The concept is really cool. It's like an app-enabled like game board and app-enabled dice and like miniature bases. And so like depending on where you are on the board, like the game knows like where your characters are and like what you're rolling and stuff. And so like the app like handles the upkeep and stuff for you based on what you are actually physically doing in the game, which it seemed like a cool concept that I wanted to try out. So I've got now way too much stuff for that game.
One day we will get to digital boards.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
We'll see. It's sitting right there.
Wow. Imagine playing Star Wars Unlimited, and it's like it puts the damage on the characters. Yeah, you tap your dude.
You play it like
attack.
a hologram of like whoever pops out of the card. They have attack animations.
I don't know why I had it right when you said hologram. I pictured Lil Sebastian from Parks and Rec, just like in a board game.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Well, this is a Star Wars Unlimited podcast. Have you played any Star Wars Unlimited?
I played some Twin Suns this last weekend. So I went to LA, like I mentioned, and my brother. The night that I got there, actually, he was like, "Oh, it's Star Wars Unlimited night at the game store. Like, you want to come?" And so I went there with him that night. Before we left, I made a just amazing double green Jabba deck that was just probably the best deck I've ever put together. But I didn't get to play it because we played Twin Suns instead. So I came there with the double green Jabba deck, and then he had a couple decks with him. And I was like, okay, I don't have a Twin Suns deck. Nobody had an extra Twin Suns deck, so I had to like ad hoc make a Twin Suns deck, and it ended up being Jabba Iden with a green base. So it was like double green Jabba with Iden added in. It was terrible, but it was a lot of fun.
But sometimes having the terrible deck in Twin Suns is good because they're like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Exactly.
So not a threat. Yeah.
I ended up double ramping that game, and when everybody was on 5 resources, I was on 7, so I was able to flip Iden and Jabba and capture stuff, and I had Rancor out that turn. It was pretty gnarly.
Oh yeah, that's
nice guy.
I did not win,
dang.
obviously, because I can never win Twin Suns, but it was a fun time.
That's amazing. That's funny you built a Jabba deck because I also just built a Jabba deck, although it's a Jabba red deck. And
is it? Oh, like a real life job, like a Premier, not a Twin Suns.
Yeah, Premier. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, after I did that one time playing Jabba Bosk, Twin Sons, and you change of hearted my Jabba's Rancor to kill me with it and eliminate me from the game, I can't ever do that pairing again.
That was the highlight of my my Twin Sons career right there.
That was tragic. But again, why I love Twin Sons. That's cool. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Well, yesterday got back into a store for the first time since before Gen Con, honestly. We had a draft, just a Shadows draft. So got together and did that. It was a ton of fun. I really still believe, I've said this here before, but if I could play limited format for like 80 to 90% of my games in Star Wars Unlimited, I would do that. Like, because I just enjoy it so much. I like the on-the-fly building the deck, thinking through lines, discovering new lines, bad cards become good. Yeah, that's it's super fun. So ended up going 3-0 with a Cad Bane red deck with just a ton of Underworld stuff. It was a ton of fun, and ended up opening. They literally just got the OP packs for set 2. And so got to open foil Relentless Pursuit with Cad Bane on it, which looks absolutely
nice,
gorgeous. And I had with the Cad Bane. It was so fun, in fact, that I got home last night, and after the kids went to bed, I built a Cad Bane Premier deck because I just wanted to keep messing with it. And it was Cad Bane red with the Relentless Pursuit because I'm like, this is so fun. I want to keep tinkering with this. So, and I've been accused of being a hero only player, so I got to change that with my Jabba and Cad Bane decks.
Because you are.
Yeah, it's not an accusation. It's true.
it's just reality.
Technically, right now I have more villain decks in my backpack than hero decks. Okay, so
it doesn't count if you don't play them.
Fair. But yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit more about draft later. So let's just kick it over to Jay for now. Jay, tell us all about your Star Wars Unlimited adventures.
I'm done. No, for real though. I am actually going to locals tonight for the first time since Gen Con. So
nice.
I am going to be playing tonight. But I have not played Star Wars Unlimited in any form since Gen Con, since the tournaments there. So I have no stories of grandeur to tell you of my epic Twin Sons victories or losses or anything like that.
Yep.
But yeah, I just haven't really had much time to play, and I've been doing a lot of other stuff like reading and playing board games and making board game videos.
Yep. Yeah, that you have. So way to tee it off, Jay. We decided based on Jay's experience and a little bit, I would say a little bit my own. I'm not going to speak for Mike, but
oh, definitely me. Yeah.
Okay, so we want to kind of kick things off on the podcast today and just talk about card game burnout or gaming burnout in general. And
yeah, I don't think it has to be just card games. I play video games and I get burnout on video games. I get burnout playing board games sometimes and stuff too. So
yeah,
it can go for anything. I mean,
work. It's a pretty universal thing. I think.
Yeah, definitely work.
Yeah, it is. There are some things though. I feel like with work, you still have to show up, right? Like like there's no. I'm just gonna call in today. I just imagine calling my boss. I'm just burnt out. I'm just
PTO.
Yeah. so it's a little bit of the optional stuff that. But we just want to have an open conversation about burnout and how just the reality of burnout when it happens. What do you do when it hits? Do you just sell your collection and move on to fishing? I mean, what do you do?
Well, not fishing, but I've done that before. I burn out on something and it's just like, all right, I don't even want that. I don't even want to see this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I regret it later.
Right.
This could totally be kind of a niche thing too. Like I am sure we have almost 8,000 subscribers. Assume they're all Star Wars Unlimited people. I guarantee you that like 5 to 10% of those subscribers play Star Wars Unlimited enough to get burnout on it. So it might be a little niche. Like I'm sure there's a lot of people, especially like when I used to, like prior to my daughter getting old enough to be able to like entertain herself, I definitely didn't have time to play card games 7 times a week. You know what I mean? So like it's harder to get burnout if you don't have the opportunities to play it. But now that I am in a place where I can, if I can play webcam games all day, every day while I'm working, or, you know, go to locals 2 to 3 times a week if I want to, or whatever the case might be, to be able to grind tons of games, then you can definitely get burnt out on it. And I definitely did. Going into Gen Con, I was super burnt out on Star Wars Unlimited. I still played in the tournaments and I still had a great time, but I just felt myself getting fatigued by how much Star Wars Unlimited I was playing. So yeah, I just kind of took the steps. Sometimes you gotta step away. And that's the great thing about a 4-month period between sets. You can step away for a month. You can step away for 2 months and you aren't gonna miss much.
Yeah.
Like, especially this close to when a set comes out, it's like, the set comes out, you've played for 3 weeks. You can take a month or two off before the store championships or planetary qualifiers and stuff like that and not miss too much. So I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that in Lorcana where they have 3-month releases and you just miss an entire set.
Literally.
Yeah. I mean, that resonates with me for sure. Like the way that I approach hobbies is probably a little extreme. Like I usually go like all in and then usually burn out pretty quick. And I don't know. I feel like if all three of us have experienced burnout in one way or another, I think it is fairly universal. Like we do probably play games more than the average person, but I think sometimes you just need to switch it up a little bit. Like, playing the same thing, feeling like you're sort of doing the same thing over and over again. I think for some people it's just like not satisfying. But then there's other people that I look at where it's like, okay, you've spent the last like 5 years of your life dedicating yourself to just this one thing and doing that thing like really well and just like continuing to grind that one thing. I can't understand how those people do it. I've never been like that with anything in my life ever. So yeah, I want to know the secret to doing that.
Yeah. I was thinking about when my entry into gaming was middle school Pokemon TCG, right? And I remember buying packs and, whatever I opened was what I built. And there was I guess it was a Pokemon League, I guess it was called, or gym. I don't remember what they called it back then, but it was like once a week. I got to go on Wednesdays or whatever, and whatever I came up with that week, I came and I was like, that's the one time I had to play games, so we just sit and play games, and then I was done, and then there was another week until I played the game again, and eventually I started finding out there were bigger tournaments that I could go to, but even then it was like, if my little brother could play, that was it. That was the one option. Yeah. And so just the advancement of technology, the fact that we can even say webcam games is pretty wild to think of where we are compared to 5 years ago. Even just thinking about pre-pandemic, before like everyone owned a webcam, it's saying like webcam games, like how does that work? I have to go buy this thing, and now it's like universal. Like no one has to explain this is what you do or this is what you buy. So I do think just the access of everything, and also just, I mean, what are we doing? We're talking about games on YouTube. Someone right now, all of our parents are watching our show, but just like you can play the game without playing the game. You can enjoy the game, which is good. Sometimes I leave work and I'm like, my brain, I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to listen to music. I just want to hear someone talk about games and kind of just disappear for a bit. It is like, in many ways, it's really nice to have that, but also there's just like a subtle shift into, okay, now this is just too much. This is just too much. I'm thinking about this one thing. So yeah, I guess it's different for every person, but what do you do? Like, because I think some people do think like, oh man, maybe I just need to move on to a new game. I mean, I'm certainly not in that stage. I felt pretty burnt out after Gen Con, but I'm starting to pick back up. So what do you guys do? You mentioned some Shatterpoint stuff, Mike. Is that part of the response?
Yeah. Just trying to sort of fill that time with other related things or other hobbies, and just kind of I don't know, take a little break for a second. I feel like this is a good time to do that because like it doesn't really feel like there's any particular goal on the horizon other than like store showdowns, which now we've talked about on the show before already, but I'm not that excited about the prizes that exist for that. So I don't know. It's not motivating me to like really try hard to want to, I don't know, grind decks all day and try and find what I want to play. So I guess my guess is like I'm probably going to take it fairly easy over the next couple months until the planetary.
PQs.
I can never remember what they're called. Planetary
PQs.
qualifiers are a thing. Yeah, PQs, and start getting back into it right before that. I am going to Europe like the 2 weeks before that. I get home, and then a week later is the planetary qualifier. So I'm guessing I'll probably have like 4 days realistically to like prep for that.
Nice.
But it sounds kind of fun too, of kind of just like using that as a chance to sort of like start fresh almost, and like kind of learn whatever new decks have popped up at that point, and
Totally.
kind of play the game that way.
I feel like last time that happened for you, you came up with Solo Sabine for Destiny and won a regional or something.
That was awesome. Yeah.
So I got 4 days. I don't even have time to pick a second character.
Find
I'm just going to choose this one.
Who needs 2 characters?
That's where the idea of Star Wars Unlimited began. They're like, well, if Mike only wants one leader, what if? What if we just... All right, sorry, Jay.
No, it's okay. I think part of Burnout too is like how you approach the hobby too. So like I was at a time approaching it pretty competitively, where I wanted to grind and find out how to optimize my deck and how to do well at events and stuff like that. So I was playing more competitively, and that can if you're not suited
Burn you
for
out
it
faster.
it can burn you out faster, but it can also lead to like frustrations and stuff like that, which makes you burn out even faster, or it can like kind of tilt you, or just put a bad taste in your mouth, all that kind of stuff. So I think approaching stuff casually helps with that. You kind of have to like set your expectations and kind of decide mentally like how you're going to take this kind of a hobby. And then for me, when I started getting burnt out, I took up other hobbies that were just like chill hobbies, playing board games. Like that's super casual. There are board games obviously that are hyper competitive, but like the general idea of playing games, especially with like family and friends and stuff, is just like casually hanging out, playing games. I started reading books. I grinded through like a 1100 book and like 1100 page book in like 4 to 5 days, and almost done with the second one. So that's been really fun and relaxing and enjoyable. But yeah, words.
My strategy is just watch more Survivor, because it's just another game.
Fair.
And the other night, I was like screaming at the TV about how poor the strategy was that this girl Candace was using to side with the villains, and I'm just like, gosh, I can't believe you don't understand this game at all. Candace, gosh. Yeah. And she got voted out.
She doesn't understand the meta.
She gone. No, she did not. The Russell Hantz meta. You can't mess with that. But for real, like I do. I wish Jim was here. He would appreciate that so much.
I've seen the heroes versus villains.
Yeah. You know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, when I find myself being burned out on games, a lot of it is lean more into family. Like just try to make new memories with the family. That, you know, when it's October 12th and I'm getting ready for a planetary qualifier, it's like that's a day I'll be away from the family. So, you know, just take advantage of memories. So I literally was like, hey, let's go get the kids the next level of bikes with training wheels, and let's do this. Let's just take a weekend and let's learn how to do this. And
sounds fun.
Nice.
And it was great. It was a really great memory last weekend. And yeah, even just like quality time with my wife. I did joke about Survivor, but it is quality time. It's important stuff that, like, you know, invest in the relationships that matter most to you, and remember that this is just a game at the end of the day. Like, you know, I don't know if Star Wars Unlimited will exist in 30, 40 years, but you'll have some memories from it, and it'll be good memories, but it's not your entire life. So getting perspective and stepping back is a healthy thing, because it also makes you, I think, appreciate the fun moments even more. I think that is why I love Twin Sun so much, is because it doesn't ever feel like, oh, I'm here to win, I'm here to like dominate. It's why I thought the Twin Suns pods at Gen Con were just a little strange in general. That the winner actually got something. Yeah, it felt a little.
It's kind of antithesis to what the format is all about. It's a medium for social engagement. It's not a competitive endeavor.
Yeah. So every time I played Twin Suns, I'm like, I just enjoy this so much. I'm eating lunch and I'm distracted and, you know, chatting with some friends. So I think that's about it. Any other thoughts on Burnout? I don't want to cut you guys off, but
I'm burnt out on this segment.
Jay, you're muted.
Yeah, Jay's muted.
I'm so burnt out on this segment that I muted myself.
Okay, great. All right. Well, sweet. Hope that was helpful. Jim's so burnt out, he didn't even show up for the podcast. All right. Let's talk about drafting. So I was at the draft yesterday, and there was a player who he watches our content, and he actually asked me, he's like, hey, do you guys have any content about drafting? Because he's like, I'm 0-9 in 3 drafts, and I don't think I really know what I'm doing, but I would like to have a little bit more success. And so, one, I was thinking, yeah, that's a great idea. I think we've done one thing specifically on drafting, one podcast with the BREAD acronym, but we haven't done much about it. But we've also drafted a fair amount, I would say, compared to most people. I mean, drafting is truly my favorite thing in the world. So we thought we'd do a little bit of just kind of draft talk. It's not the competitive, crazy, get ready for planetary qualifiers, at least not in 2024. Maybe in the future there might be some down the road. Some
Hope so.
Yeah, it'd be sweet.
That'd be awesome.
But we're going to talk a little bit about drafting, and then we're going to actually do a little pack one, pick one action with some live booster pack openings. It's going to be super fun. So, Mike, why don't you hit us with your number one tip to people who want to get better at draft?
Oh man,
put you on the spot.
You're putting me on the spot here. I think probably my number one is just like do it a lot, because I used to be pretty just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. I used to be bad at drafting when I was in college and I was drafting Magic, and then I kind of just kept doing it and eventually learned what you should draft, I guess, and like what kind of things are generally good and what you need to look out for when you're actually playing the game. But I think that at least for me, everybody learns differently, but there's no substitute for experience for me. So I think just like the more I do something generally, like the more I understand it. So I think if you're a person who's gone 0-9 in your first 3 drafts really isn't that many. So I would, like, if you're still having a good time just playing the game, and like I would treat it as a learning experience more than anything else, and just try stuff, see what works, see what doesn't work, and don't be upset about the outcome. I think like a mindset shift and just like how you approach it, I think has a lot to do with what you get out of it. So maybe if you're not enjoying losing, I mean, it's never fun to like lose all the time, but I think if you shift your mindset a little bit, it could be turned into something that you do find fun. It's probably not super helpful, but
no, come on now. Jay, what you got?
For tips, just get good. It's that easy.
That's great.
Coach.
So get a coach.
Nailed it.
I think learning how to evaluate cards well, it's going to be good. Like learning what cards are bombs in draft, what leaders are better in draft. Like Hondo Onaka is a leader that's like super strong in draft that isn't played in constructed. I mean,
Unless your name is George.
Right, exactly. Like he's good there, but like most people don't play him in constructed. So learning which character or leaders are good in draft and how to be able to like utilize them in a limited environment is going to be solid. And then being able to read what your left and right are drafting, learning to read that, there's a lot of blue cards right here. So no one to my right is drafting blue. So maybe I should lean into that. Or there's like 0 yellow cards. So maybe I should not try to draft yellow because I'm going to be trying to take cards from people that have already taken them. So that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's actually, I'll save my tip for a moment, but I think that is a really difficult, of the kind of next level drafting strategy advice is learning how to read what the rest of the table is drafting. I've drafted a fair amount, and there's still times I'm like, I haven't figured it out until end of pack 2 when I'm like, oh gosh, nobody's on green. I should have been in green. Like, this is so silly. What am I doing? Like when we drafted with the Golden Dice guys, and it was like, I don't know. We just all kind of acknowledged, okay, all this blue stuff is coming through. But I would like to get better at identifying it earlier. But people are unpredictable too. So there's always the kind of randomness of they start one way and then they got this really great pick and they're like, oh, I'm going to swerve. And
learning when to pivot is something that's hard to do too.
Yeah, very difficult.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people get locked in on something and they do not want to change.
That's me.
Yeah,
every
same,
time.
me.
Like I pick something like whatever my first pick is, way too heavily influences whatever the rest of my draft ends up being.
Hey, I'm with you, man.
Like it's a common thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like almost 100. I'm trying to think of a time my first pick didn't kind of set the pattern for the rest of it. But I also can't say that it hasn't worked out for me either. Like I think I've seen.
If you force your strategy enough, like maybe you just cut everybody else off enough to where you get what you need.
Yeah, it's like who's going to be the stubborn one to get the good stuff. But yeah, I mean, it literally happened in our draft yesterday. And this is kind of where my tip came first, is because we sat there, and I think drafting your leaders is really important. Don't skip past this step.
Could probably do a whole topic of just how to pick your leaders in draft.
Yeah, some very basic stuff is make sure you're looking to you start passing to the right. So make sure you're watching what the person to your left is taking and what they're getting, because if you get locked into a single color, that's not going to be great for you. And if you get locked to only hero or villain, that's also not going to be great for you. So having some diversity there is really good.
Or it's very good. If your opponents to your left and right realize you're all hero, then maybe it convinces them to go villain, and then you have hero open.
I guess that is
I think it depends on who you're drafting with, because you can also end up against people who hate draft the best hero cards against you or whatever.
Yeah. Because the first full pack you're passing is passing to the left. So if the guy to your right realizes you have 3 blue leaders, and they're sitting there with I don't know, like Ray, and they're seeing Moisture Farmers and Conquer Dawn Interceptors, all this, and that's like, well, they're just going to start taking it before you get there. You're only passing right one of the packs. You're getting past the left 2 of the packs. So they could just block you out, and you just have a terrible draft.
Totally.
That's happened to me before.
Yeah, yeah. But yesterday I looked at the board, and I drafted a hero Boba, and I had Gar Saxon and Cad Bane. And so I'm already looking at okay, I've got 2 villains and 1 hero, probably going into villain. I came in thinking most drafts I've done Hondo or Ray. I've done Bosk maybe once or twice, but I was like, I want to do something new. And so I saw Cad Bane. I was like, I want to try Cad Bane. And I was looking around the table, and every person except for one person had 2 heroes and 1 villain. And there were only 2 red villains at the entire table. There was a Bosk on the other side, and there was a Kylo on the as far away from me as possible. And I'm thinking, what are the chances the person's going to go with Kylo in draft? Mm-hmm. He's really tough to build around. And what are the chances that guy is going with Bosk when he's got 2 other hero leaders? And so I kind of went into it saying, you know what? I think I opened my first pack. It was DJ. I was like, well, I already wanted to go with Cad Bane. He's Underworld. He's a 3/5. I'm taking DJ. And the next pack was something in Red Villain, and I thought, man, Red Villain's got a lot of Underworld stuff. It's got a lot of great synergy with Cad Bane. This would make a lot of sense to do this. I don't know if anyone else is going to go Red Villain. So I went hard into Red Villain, and turns out the guy with Kylo and Bosk both went into Kylo and Bosk. Yeah. And so it started drying up towards the end of the first pack, and I was like, oh gosh, did I make a mistake? But I'm so deep in now, I don't know if I can pivot already, or if I can pivot this soon. I don't know. It worked out. It worked out, but there is a lot of game within the game at a draft table when you're trying to figure that stuff out.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why drafting is so fun. Mm-hmm. I almost find the draft itself more fun than playing the games after.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they have auto battlers.
Yep.
Because the draft
100%.
is the fun part, and then the actual gameplay, it's the auto part.
Yep.
Yeah, which is funny because I did my fantasy football draft 2 hours ago and had an absolute blast, and I'm not going to think about it again until the Saturday before the opening game. Oh yeah, I need to set my lineup. All right, so why don't we do this? Let's do a pack 1 pick 1. But in Star Wars Unlimited, we can't just open up 1 pack and kind of in a vacuum choose what we want to choose. We've got to start with leaders. So Mike, you've got some leaders over there, right?
Yep. So I've got all the leaders. I'm just gonna shuffle these up and just draw 3 random ones. Actually, I'm not even gonna draw them. I'm gonna just flip them face up, shuffle it again, flip it face up, whatever. Because you can end up with multiple of the same leader in draft.
True.
And that has happened many times. So first one is Boba.
Ooh, Hero.
Hero Boba.
I like him
All
in
right,
draft.
second one. Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you like about him?
There's just so many keywords. Like if you go blue, you've got sentinels like the village people that can be buffed up by him. If you go yellow, you got tons of ambush. Red isn't awesome with him. They don't have as many keywords, it feels like, but they do have some overwhelm, some grit. But I like blue or yellow with him.
All right, here's the second one. We got
Oh,
Lando.
that's tough.
So you are Boba Fett hero, Lando, right now, and the last leader is Jabba.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right.
2 green,
2 rares.
1 yellow.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 rares. You got either really lucky or really unlucky, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. Give me your thought process if you have those 3 leaders, Jay. What are you like? What in your head? What are you gonna try to?
Looks like I'm playing Boba Hero.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, Boba Hero is probably the most generically good. Lando seems really tough to make work in.
I would probably draft green cards early because Jabba probably isn't bad in draft because there's a good chance you get to 8 as long as you're not playing against something that's just like hyper aggro.
Yeah,
seven,
if you really wanted to go
Or
Jabba,
7, sorry.
like I feel like you just try and grab as many reputable hunters as you can find.
Yeah.
Because that could, I mean, starting off with a 3/4 is pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So you're both thinking going to green. Yeah. I'm thinking I'm not really gonna think seriously about Lando. I think it's a little bit of a trap. He really has to have a build around. But I think drafting generic greens to start is probably a good solid move. So. All right.
Pack one, pick one is going to be Millennium Falcon.
You're going to open it?
Yeah, I've got. Well, this is okay. So Mike and I.
Is that one of our prize packs?
Yeah. So Mike and I got to the finals of a draft at Gen Con, and Jay was really hungry, and actually he was more hangry than hungry. So we had to not play our finals so that Jay could get some food in his belly. And we said we'll play it later, and then we ran out of time, and then we said, all right, we'll do it over webcam, and we just haven't done it because. Burnout.
Yeah, because
food. So this is.
Who's got time for
so
that?
we've got 5 prize packs here. So 3 of them are going to Mike. 3 are going to. 3 of them are going to me. 2 of them are going to Mike.
Sorry, what?
At some point,
You said it right the first time.
At some point, we'll play the.
You can have 3 of them, but I'll take the one with the showcase.
There it is. So, anyways, I'm gonna open this bad boy, and we're gonna see what we have. So, for our audio listeners, we'll try to do a good job of explaining what we've got. So.
Our audio listeners, when this goes up in a
Hey,
month.
you know what? I just said I only own 1 Jabba the Hutt, so this is now my 2nd Jabba the Hutt in my collection.
There you go. You can give it to your friend.
All right, so obviously Jabba's not going to be in here. All right, so I'm going to try to hold it up so you guys can see. Does this work?
Right. Yep.
Okay, so we've got Disabling Fang Fighter. Price on your head. There's a green.
That's a good one.
Village Protectors, which I said with Sentinel is good with Boba, but it might be a little
Really
early.
good with Boba.
We got Reckless Gunslinger. The Quad Jumper.
Rickety.
That's
Space.
it's a hyperspace Wookiee warrior. That looks really cool.
It is pretty shiny.
That looks really cool.
Well, not shiny, but you know what I mean.
Like just cool looking. Cartel Turncoat.
Turncoat.
Kind of works with Boba as well. It can be
1 cost 3/3.
Yep.
Stats.
We've got the Protector of the Throne, just the hero. We've got Cloud Rider, Ambush,
Ooh.
very good with Boba
Oh, yeah.
because this swings for 4.
Coming in
right?
for 4.
That's a great card.
It's also not locked to hero or villain, so this is a potentially great option.
Ooh, that's
Echo.
great with Boba as well.
I think it's okay.
It's pretty good with Boba.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I always think that it has ambush, but it doesn't have ambush.
Yeah.
Why do
What's
I think
it
it
have?
has ambush?
It has restore.
It's restore too.
Yeah, it's restore 2.
Yeah.
It still counts.
I can't remember why I think it has ambush, but in my brain registers it as ambush.
What is this
It's
called
because
again?
everyone ECLs it so that they can do the
They can
plus
heal.
2 thing. Or
I've
whatever.
never seen
what's that
anybody do
card
that. But Unexpected Escape. It's the blue thing. Punishing One.
Ooh, punishing one.
That's a good card.
In Red Villain, it's not really. I mean, it locks us a little bit.
Crate
well,
Dragon.
There you go. All right, we're going
No.
Java.
This was my pack, right?
that can be your pack. I have plenty of crate dragon.
What's the hyper
Dude,
foil?
let's go.
Yeah, what's the hyper foil?
All right,
Okay,
that's.
that card.
I already have a.
I mean, we're taking the crate dragon, right?
Resourceful Pursuers. That's yeah. Okay, so that's the pack. That's amazing. That's a live shot right there. That's
That's great.
pretty spicy $40 legendary dropping. Okay, so this is a good discussion of
I'm rarity drafting,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So there is a sense in which you have to go into the draft and in your head decide like, okay, am I here to fill out my collection, or am I like super sweaty grindy, gotta win because there's a big, I don't know, 6-pack.
You always take the good card because you're going to open crap in your packs.
Yeah, right. And then you get, I mean, obviously this would pay for the draft, 2 drafts or 3 drafts, you know, if you really think of it that way.
Yeah, and then what you do here is you hope that price on their head gets around the table. You play Java,
try to grab that.
you ramp into your crate dragon, and you win the game.
Win the
that
game.
too.
It's so easy.
I mean, you can play it on the Java flip turn if you make it there. And you can do something about the unit that you give the bounties to with something that you already have on board.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's a completely reasonable pack one, pick one. Yeah, especially because you're not locked into anything yet. I mean, even if you don't go into red, you're not going to be.
You could theoretically go with any of your leaders and play Great Dragon.
Okay. So, all right. So let's say this is the guy to your right actually opened this pack and he took the crate and passed you the rest of this because that's just sometimes it's not always that simple.
Well, what did you take in your first pack then? Because that has something to do with what you picked taking your second.
You took a hyper foil
you took just like a
endless
neutral
legions
card?
Because
Okay, got
it
it.
was a
Yeah,
hyper
'cause you
foil
were-
endless
you were
legions,
rare
and
drafting.
you're not passing a hyper foil endless legions
Fair.
because that just looks
All
so
right.
cool.
So now what are we taking from
So you're
this?
going Java for sure.
All right, so this is pack one, pick two. All right,
Okay.
where? All right, I'm gonna go through them again. Disabling Fangfire, Price on Your Head, Village Protectors, Reckless Gunslinger, Rickety Quad Jumper, Wookiee Warrior, Cartel Turncoat, Protector of the Throne, Cloud Rider, Echo, Unexpected Escape, Punishing One, Shiny Resourceful Pursuers, which is okay in draft, by the way, as a 5/6. But
I think I'm going with the Cloud Rider.
I am too.
I like Cloud Rider a lot.
Yeah,
It's good pretty much every deck that you could put it in. Mm-hmm. It's very
That's
versatile. It can go in any of your decks. Like you're playing, like Lando's yellow already, so you could do that if you really wanted to. But ambushing for 4 with Boba is really, really strong. If you're playing Jabba, you're going to want some kind of board control removal so you can make it to the late game, and that helps you do that. So that's my pick.
yep,
I dig it.
yep. Jane, push back.
And it's just a 3/1. Yeah,
Sure.
if you play against a boss that has a bounty turn 1, this feels bad as a turn 1 play, but not turn 1 play is great in Boba Fett.
You could also just not play it against Bosk unless you're ambushing it and killing itself.
It kind of like Punishing One is like a super good card in draft, I think.
That's true.
But
That's another
you're
good pick.
also locking yourself into playing Jabba
yeah,
because
Yeah.
I mean you're not locking yourself. I think it's a great card to hate draft too if you needed to, but that would be like another good pick I think out of that pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another good card for sure.
yeah. Because I think I don't like Price on Your Head as a early draft pick. I just don't think. I think you're leaning too much into something and you're giving up too much value. Because we said we were going fully green. The only other green card in here was Echo. So
I don't mind that card. I just don't know if it's. I mean,
You're not picking
at
that
the beginning.
early.
I said it was really good, but I think I was thinking it was the other one, the 2/4 with raid 2 and ambush.
yeah, the
cohort.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, if it was Power Rangers instead of that one, I think you picked that one
Yeah.
almost over Cloud Rider because it fits in both of your decks. You don't have to like.
I
lock
try
into
to stay a
different
little
color.
open too, so taking non-heroic, non-villain cards feels good sometimes.
Yeah.
Modded Cohort is a hero.
Oh, I guess it is a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would not go into Java.
You could play it for 6, I guess.
Seems bad.
Mm.
If you
Probably
take
not
the
great,
cohort,
but-
you're saying I'm playing Boba Fett.
Yeah, realistically.
Unless you pivot. I mean, you can always pivot. It also depends on what the leaders are to your left and right a little bit, but this is
Yeah. Yeah, and
In a
that's
vacuum.
that's another thing we can't do. We can't simulate in something like this. Yeah, I don't mind,
Yeah.
and I don't mind like Disabling Fangfighter is one of those like value cards.
Yeah, especially in this set.
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of bounties people are playing.
And
Yeah,
bounties.
lots
There's
of
bounties.
upgrades.
There's experience like Ray. People love to draft Ray.
Upgrades.
The shield on Village
Jetpacks if you're playing
Protectors.
against David.
The Van Bracers, the grapple hook or shot or whatever, all those
Mm-hmm.
cards.
Yep. Yeah. So that would be on my list, but I think Cloud Rider is the move here, and yeah, I mean if you can pull a Dryden Voss, you could do the job of Yellow Dream, and go ahead and steal the captured unit and do your thing. So cool.
I dig it.
All right. Well, that was a fun little trial, and I walked away with my second Jabba and a Crate Dragon. So
and a Crate Dragon.
We used to do this every
You're
cast.
winning today.
So now you guys have to actually play, and if Mike wins, you have to send that to him.
No, what is funny is that I beat Mike in a different draft in the finals, and there were 5 packs at stake, and I got 3 and he got 2, and his first pack he opened was. It was a hyperfoil crate dragon,
yep.
and a Kylo in the same pack, or was like,
yep,
yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep,
I think Mike's doing okay over there. Was hyperfoil crate
complaining.
dragon in the draft. So awesome,
Cool. If you guys enjoyed that, want to see us do that on all the episodes of this show, let us know, and we'll open some more packs and do more pack one, pick ones for fun if it is fun.
That's right. And then maybe we'll finally do our Twin Sons draft. We'll just do it 1 pack at a time over the course of 70 podcasts.
I love it.
Awesome. I think that's all we got today. Thanks for watching, guys. Say hi to Jim if you see him, internet, and till next time.
Bye.